Welcome to Armchair Anonymous. I'm Dan Buckley. I'm joined by
Pussy Von Will.
Pussy Von Pussy. Oh, jeez. Well, if there's any place to do it, it's on Armchair. If you didn't listen to Thursday's episode, you don't know what we're talking about. But that's a callback.
You might want to go back then.
Go back. Get out of here. Get out of here and go back.
No, but this is a fun episode.
This is acts of hospitality.
Yeah. Life affirming.
Yes. Meet cutes.
Don't spoil.
Well, they won't know which one it is. Could be the Penn Station taxi driver. What? What's going on? Why are you unraveling?
Skip all of this, guys.
No, listen to this one. This one's safe. This one's really safe. Yeah. And it's really sweet. And I'm glad we did this prompt. We're so nasty most of the time.
You're so nasty.
I am so
and
nasty.
It's contagious.
Yes, and this one's not nasty. And you used to listen to it with your whole family and your grandparents at Christmas time around the hearth, the family hearth.
Aww.
Please enjoy acts of hospitality.
Hard times come and go. Good times, take them slow. My life, I had them both. Remember one thing, you gotta know, I'ma keep on shining.
Hi, how are you?
I am so good.
Why do you have such a professional setup?
I can't take the credit for this. This is my husband's. So he has his own podcast he's previously done, web series, all this stuff. So he set me up.
He did. He doesn't hate us.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, wonderful. And where in the country are you?
I am in Denver right now.
Oh.
Lived here for a couple years, yeah.
Did you meet your husband there?
No, actually. That's a whole other city and
my
tale.
God, that's another prompt.
Where are you from originally?
Actually, I'm from Georgia.
What part?
I'm from outside of Athens area. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Maysville Commerce area where the Tinger outlets were, maybe.
Oh, yeah, I know about the outlets, of course.
Yes.
Tinger
outlets. So that is where I grew up.
Nice.
You've got that cute Georgian.
Yeah, you do. It's very familiar to me.
I get my peaches down in Georgia. That's all I'm thinking about.
I asked that about if you met your husband there because I just heard that Denver has the highest population of single men in the country.
Oh.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
That kind of makes sense because it's dudes going out there to rock climb and snowboard.
Well, that's a stereotype.
Yeah, I think it's a good one. Yeah. That's one I believe in. Okay, so you were the recipient of a very extreme act of hospitality?
I was. So actually, my story takes place in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
In 2018, I was a travel nurse. And I was heading out there for a job. I was actually leaving Georgia, typically in between contracts. And I'm sorry, I don't know how familiar you guys are with travel nursing.
I was just about to ask, can you tell us what a travel nurse is?
Typically, like a hospital or a clinic, if they're understaffed for whatever reason, they'll hire a travel nurse for a short period of time, typically about 3 months. We come in, we help out. If they need us longer and we want to stay longer, we will do that. Most of the time also, we're finding our own housing while we are doing this. And so for this assignment, I had gotten a place on Craigslist. It had a property manager. He seemed nice. We chatted back and forth via emails. He had great reviews, good website, all the things. Seemed on the up and up. Sent over my deposit, first month's rent, all the things, along with my roommates as well. And that was roughly like a month before my assignment started. In between contracts, I most of the time would go to Georgia, visit my family, maybe like switch out my clothes or whatever. I was leaving Georgia and I was at the Atlanta airport and I text the property manager and I'm like, hey, just as a reminder, I get in tonight. You'll be at the apartment complex 7:30-ish to let me in. Didn't hear anything back.
Oh.
And so I'm like starting to get a little antsy. And so finally I call him and I say the same thing, like, hey, just checking in. You're going to let me in, right? And he's like, yeah, have a good flight, and hangs up.
Oh, boy. Uh-oh.
So I start getting a little anxious there.
Sure.
I even texted my roommate who wasn't coming until the next day. Her name's Alex. And I was like, something didn't feel right about that conversation. I'm not going to feel good until the keys are in my hands. And so lucky for me, I've got a good 4.5 hour flight to sit there and panic and dwell. So as soon as I arrive in San Diego, I'm texting, hey, just landed. Hey, I'm on my way. Not getting any response, not answering my phone calls. And so I arrive at the apartment. I don't pack light. So I've got like 3 suitcases. I've got my dog with me.
Well, 3 months. 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm standing outside the apartment building for I don't know how long. And then someone took pity on me and let me in. You have to have a fob to go up the elevator. So I find a housekeeper and like, hey, can you please let me up to my floor? So I go up and my apartment was supposed to be 213. And I see apartment 212 and 214.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
213 is literally like a storage closet.
What?
And so I like run back to the housekeeper and I'm like, apartment 213, like, where is that at? And you're like, no, sorry, that's not a thing. Doesn't exist.
Oh, boy.
All of that anxiety that I had been dwelling on. And by the way, up until today, I was feeling great. I thought we were good to go.
You're going to San Diego, sunshine and surfboards. Yeah.
I was there. I was ready. So I'm like, okay, I'm homeless. Like, I don't have a home right now. I don't have anywhere to go. This guy has not only like thousands of dollars of my money, but also he has all of my information. I was the one that filled out the paperwork. So he's got my social. He's got all my previous addresses. Anything he wants to know about me, he's got it. Yeah. And I'm like, is he going to do anything with this? I have no idea. Also, I have to tell Alex, by the way, you're homeless too.
Right.
Yeah.
So I go downstairs and I'm talking to someone in the lobby that works there. And she's like, you're actually the 3rd person this has happened to.
No.
Oh.
So this guy knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And so I'm calling pet-friendly hotels. I'm like trying to find a place to go for me and Max, my dog. No one has a vacancy for the night. I am calling, and I had to look like my boyfriend just like kicked me out or something. You know, I've got all my suitcases. I'm crying.
Your dog.
Yeah.
My dog. People are just staring. No one's like, ma'am, are you okay? They're just staring because they walk in and out of this lobby. I start calling like my mom. I called my friend Liz. Again, I'm just venting. I just don't know what to do at this point. My friend Liz just happened to be with a friend of hers and is like, hey, I have an aunt and uncle that lives there. Go stay with them.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, I barely know you, much less your aunt and uncle. Like, I don't want to go stay with these people that I don't know. I need to be in a hotel. I need to be alone, cry, eat some pizza, maybe watch some Friends to cheer me up.
Yep.
Yeah, what's the right medicine for the occasion?
Exactly. I tried a couple more hotels and then I was like, you know what? I give up. Let's go. At this time, they live like northern San Diego. So I arrive. I mean, I'm sure my eyes were so puffy from crying, like that I could probably barely open them at this point, covered in mascara. They were just the kindest people. Mondo, he was wonderful. He's like cleaning out his office. So I have a private place to sleep that night.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is not necessary. Any couch is fine.
I can sleep in your garage in one of the cars.
Exactly. I will take anything. So as I'm telling him multiple times, please stop doing whatever you're doing, I find out they also put their dog in the garage for the night. So there wasn't any issues between mine and theirs. His wife, Patsy, was wonderful. She has made me like a full spread for dinner. Quesadilla, fruit, nuts, anything that I could possibly have wanted. And they just sat there and listened to my story and without judgment. There was already the stereotype, do you trust Craigslist, right?
Well, we've even had prompts.
Oh, I submitted to that one too.
Oh, wow.
I was thinking while you're talking, this could have gone either way.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was so determined I needed to be by myself that night and like wallow in my self-pity. And instead, I needed a hug and they were there to give me one. They had breakfast ready for me. Patsy actually works in real estate, and so she was trying to help me find a place to live.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, boy.
Again, they were so supportive, and they're like, oh, yeah, any friend of our nephew's is a friend of ours.
That's a stretch.
And I'm like, I wouldn't necessarily say we're friends. We're like acquaintances. We've met a couple times.
Any name our nephew knows of, we'll definitely host.
Sure, yeah. So my roommate comes and we end up staying in like a Holiday Inn for a week and then end up finding a not furnished apartment, which that's one thing I didn't mention before. We typically get furnished places, right? We're not going back and forth with a couch across the country. And so I had an air mattress for a few months that I slept on, which is fine. When you're in your 20s, you can do that.
Yeah.
And then as far as their nephew, I said, I owe you a drink. I owe you dinner. Whatever I can, I owe you big. This was such an amazing thing. This is exactly what I needed. I had a home and a warm meal for the night.
Oh, I'm thrilled.
Hold on.
He came into town for work and we went to dinner. He did not let me pay for it. And that actually was my first date with my husband.
So much.
Derek.
Wow.
Oh, by the way, this is so telling. It's wonderful. I always can foresee the betrayal, but you were 2 steps ahead of me that this was going to be her husband.
A meet cute. By the way, I wanted to do a prompt once about meet cutes, and that was shut down. And this is evidence.
You 100% should.
Well, because I don't think the average American knows the term meet cute.
We can teach it.
I disagree.
I learned it 3 years ago.
Anyone who's seen The Holiday, which is a lot of people, knows about the meet cute.
That's how I know it. Yep.
That's an amazing story. And now they're your dad and mom-in-law?
Aunt and uncle-in-law.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, we've been married now for 3 years. We have a beautiful baby girl.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, my God.
This is beyond good hospitality. This led to a whole life.
Did you name the baby the name of the person who scammed
defrauded you?
Because that'd be cool.
He was later found on a Scammers Beware website.
Was he arrested when you saw him on the scammers website?
No. And, I filed a police report, but because it happened over the internet and not actually in San Diego County, I had to do a federal police report. And I'm still waiting for them to contact me about that.
Well, right, because he likely wasn't even in California. We're thinking he's a local San Diegoan, right? Or I am, but he could have been in Russia.
Absolutely.
All in, you lost, what'd you lose? $2,000, $3,000?
I lost about $2,500. I had to pay a little bit more for the pet fee for my dog. And so my roommate also, she lost about $1,500, $2,000 as well.
Well, you're a real dick scam artist when you're even charging for animals.
I know.
That seems like a gouge on top of a gouge. You now have this beautiful baby. You have a husband.
Yes.
So worth $2,500, right?
Absolutely. For the longest time, I was like, oh, I owe you. You did this. And I'm like, now he owes me. He has a wife and a baby. We are more than even.
Yeah, it wasn't even his house. It wasn't even his hospitality, really.
Oh, yeah, no. He just called.
Wow, what a great story.
I love that.
Yeah, total happy ending.
Yeah, I'm so ecstatic that I got to actually spend some time with you.
We're so excited we met you, Lauren.
Yes, this was awesome.
Really quick, what are his podcasts?
So his podcast was The Future of Work. He took kind of a little hiatus from it for a little while and is going to start that up again, but actually make it more of a web series instead of a podcast. So if anyone is interested in that or listened to it before, it should be coming soon.
Wonderful. Well, Lauren, it's such a delight to meet you. You make the state of Georgia proud.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You should be thrilled she's out there in Colorado representing the Peach State.
You're doing God's work.
You're doing God's work.
Well, thank you. We actually used to live in LA for a little while, and we're hoping to get back there eventually. We loved it and miss it.
Yeah.
Fine. Come on over.
Come on out.
Don't tip me.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Oh, that was sweet. Mm-hmm. That was as sweet as it gets.
I did think there could have been a third part of that story where he was the con man.
Oh, and he orchestrated
husband.
the whole thing because he saw her in the airport once.
Yep. That would have been cool. Hello.
Ian, do you have a Mediport? What am I seeing on your chest?
Oh, it's a tattoo.
Oh. Okay. That's better. I thought I was going to then have to talk for a minute and back myself out of that question.
I hated that.
No, it's a family tattoo.
Oh.
All the men in my family have the same Celtic cross, and it's this one.
Really?
Oh, cool.
Where are you and the men in your family from, and where do you live?
Well, that's from our Irish side, but I live just outside of Denver in Aurora, Colorado.
We had another Denver on
your
here.
second Denver.
It's pretty cool.
We're all cool.
I love your hair, Ian.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
nice.
start there.
Can I say something real quick before we jump in?
Yeah. Well, let's ask Ian. Can Monica interject with something?
I'll allow it.
Okay, thank you.
When you first said, is that, I'm sorry to bring it back to your faux pas. When you first said, is that a Mediport or whatever?
Yeah.
It sounded like you said, is that a neti pot?
Oh.
I heard that too.
Okay.
Right? And I was like,
Well, by the way, they're not called a mini port. I just know it's a port. My dad had one. Barton had one.
oh, that goes into your heart.
It's when you're getting real serious.
Right. So that's
treatment.
like an intense question to ask.
It is a very intense question, but Ian, would you agree if you had your shirt unbuttoned with your Mediport, which is not called, exposed, you're letting me know I'm not embarrassed about this?
Yeah, I was calling attention to my fake cancer. You're right.
I had a port. Remember my port?
Yeah, I do. I
didn't mind at all if someone was like, what's going on with that port? In fact, I'd almost prefer the opportunity
I
to tell them,
know.
don't worry, I'm not dying. I just have a massive infection.
God.
It's even better. I'm not dying. I just have a family tradition.
True. Okay, that was fun.
Thank you for the sidebar. And please tell us about this extreme act of hospitality you were the recipient of.
This takes place over Christmas 2018 in the wonderful country of Vietnam, which is one of my favorites.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Me and my best friend, Sean, he's my best friend, Aaron Weekly.
Mm-hmm.
We went through high school and college together, graduating college in 2017, and we were like just getting into adult life. And we decided we were going to take a trip to make sure we were still young and cool and fresh. We were inspired by an old British Top Gear special.
Oh.
I don't know if you've seen it. They did a Vietnam special where they flew into Saigon in the south of Vietnam, rented motorcycles, and then they rode them the length of Vietnam to Hanoi in the north.
Oh, cool. Who's the Jeremy Clarkson in the group? Is that you or your friend?
Oh, God. I don't know. I'm not punching producers.
Okay. God, you're knowledgeable. Ian's on fire. He's sharp.
So we leave Chicago. We fly east to Qatar. Ding, ding, ding. Qatar GP.
God, I love Ian. The Grand Prix was there last weekend.
Oh, my God.
It was a fucking shit show. Everyone overheated.
Get a room, you guys.
Let me change your port for you.
Ew, a Dax.
I'm sorry. You flew to Qatar and then what happened?
We have our layover in Qatar. And we continue east to Saigon, Vietnam. We don't have a plan. This is kind of the way we traveled. We would go on tour a lot in college.
This explains the entire
band.
thing. He was in a band.
Yeah.
Ian was in a band.
Ian was obviously always in a band.
That was the missing piece.
Yeah, we were musicians in college.
Yeah, of course.
And we would always tell people, like, we've got a plan. There was not a plan.
Sure.
Right. The plan was arrive.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So we arrive, we find a place to rent some motorcycles, and we rent these pair of Honda CRF 450s.
Oh, like dual sporty bikes?
Yes, Enduros. We're not really sure exactly what we're going to run into. We're planning to go through some rural areas. We've got our backpacks. We got hammocks in there, which was the plan for sleeping.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Without any knowledge of the natural wildlife.
Yeah.
Zero. But we've got spirit. We get on these bikes and we start riding through Saigon. About like 80% of the population in Vietnam rides motorcycles. It's just motorcycles everywhere.
And you can ride them absolutely anywhere, right? I mean, you can be on a sidewalk, you can be in a gutter.
There's zero rules.
Right.
We quickly just get into that vibe. We eventually make it to Vung Tau, which is a coastal city. So this is part one of the hospitality we received. This is Christmas Day. We're rolling into Vung Tau and we rock up to this tiki bar. We go inside because they're playing American CNN.
Oh, sure.
It's Christmas Day. There's nobody in there except for these two guys, Seamus and Iva.
Perfect.
They're Scottish immigrants to Vietnam. So obviously we start like chatting them up immediately. We offer to buy Seamus some drinks, only to find out that he owns this bar.
Oh, wow. Wonderful.
Exciting.
He's bringing us out more and more things. I mean, we're getting hammered. And then in the corner is Seamus's wife, Lynn, and their son, Leon, who's like 3 going on 4. It's a whole family affair at this bar. We're playing pool and half Scottish, half Vietnamese Leon is crawling on the table and like playing pool with his hands.
Oh, wow.
Just so adorable. We're having a fantastic time. They invited us to stay with them and go to baby Leon's birthday, which is the next day.
Oh my God, a Christmas baby.
Boxing Day, baby.
Yeah.
We're not able to stay for the birthday party, unfortunately. We tell them that.
Okay.
Scooted out before
Yeah,
the
talking
party.
about dine and dash.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't even dined yet because we tell them we can't stay. And Lynn wordlessly leaves. and comes back with these just giant plates of food and just starts feeding us in this bar. So we're all just like sitting together having this like magical Christmas dinner in this tiki bar in Vietnam. It was wonderful. So that's part one. Part two is less fun.
Okay, good. It takes a turn.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
So we sleep there. We decide we're rolling out. We're continuing on north.
Happy birthday, Liam. We just can't.
Leon.
We just can't stick around for the party. But happy birthday, bud.
We're in a band, and so we have stuff to do.
Yeah, there's people to see. There's faces to rock.
We're riding for 5-6 hours. We're in, I wouldn't even call it a town. It's a row of houses. It's a kind of farmland. And we're going around a corner, probably 45, 50 miles an hour. Sean ends up low siding through the corner. He slides and hits a 3-foot concrete post that's sticking out of the ground. Ribs first. I watch him just bounce off into the ravine.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we find out later he broke just about every rib on his right side. Just all the way down, shattered. He bounces off into this ravine nearby filled with like thorny brambles. And he's in so much pain. He's like yelling. And so we're in this lady's front yard. There's oxen, a field, and this kind of cinder block house that we've just crash landed into. Very quickly, a crowd starts forming and starts jumping into action. It's ridiculous. So out of this house comes this woman. I don't know her name. I don't speak Vietnamese. She speaks no English, but she's instantly directing us into the house. Just like super mom energy.
Yeah.
We lay him down on this thin mat on a tile floor. So there's this like group of men. They help me get this bike out of the ditch and they just go to work. Sean's pack has been scattered all over. They just start picking it all up. They're just like gathering it, putting it back in his bag. This gentle old man comes up to me, holds out Sean's GoPro that was attached to his helmet that had come flying off. And he like really wanted me to have it back. So gentle and sweet. These perfect mechanics show up out of nowhere and just start working on the bike.
Oh, wow.
They replace the clutch. They switch out the shift lever. It's ridiculous. They're just going at it on the motorcycle. I go inside and the woman is giving Sean medical attention. She's like offering us food and water. She's bringing us things. We're in her house for 12 hours.
Wait, what? Does anyone go to the hospital?
He's so damaged.
But what about the hospital?
That's not on the table.
Why?
Well, okay. One, we're in super rural Vietnam. We're hours away from a hospital. Two, we've got no idea what these hospitals are like or how much they cost. We don't have travel insurance. We're young idiots. We didn't know we were sleeping, much less we were getting medical attention.
Right.
Eventually, this group is all kind of formed up and they're all making phone calls. This guy rolls up, big smile, and he greets us in English. They've called like the one person they know who speaks English.
Wonderful.
To come and triage for us. It was incredible.
He was Vietnamese or is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
They'd call like their Vietnamese friend who happens to also speak English.
Really quick, Monica's laughing. What I just heard Ian say is exactly what I think I said.
You didn't.
Okay.
He rides up, asks us what we want to do. I'm still dumb. I think I asked Sean if he can continue. I'm like, you want to keep going? And Sean's like, yeah, absolutely not.
You want to shake it off, Tiger?
Pretty much. We tell him we've got to go back to Saigon. We've got to fly home. He makes another call. And these guys just show up with a van.
Oh, my gosh.
They take the back seats out of this van so that we can put our bikes in there. And we get in this van and ride back to Saigon. At this point, we'd been riding for like 2 or 3 days. It'd been 3 to 4 hours of riding a day.
Yeah.
But we're not allowed on the highway on the bikes. On the highway, it was much quicker. It was like only like a 3-hour drive back to Saigon.
Oh, thank God.
Which was demoralizing also. We felt like we had like conquered this country and gone so far.
Yeah, you were 9 exits away.
Yeah, we were immediately back. And we're just riding back. So grateful for this town that had just come together and like helped us in so many ways. It was incredible. We end up just flying home. We don't go to the hospital, Monica.
Wow. Oh, God, the pressure on the plane.
We FaceTimed his sister-in-law, who's a nurse.
Okay.
And she was like, don't take Advil. And we were like, we will stop giving him Advil now.
Wait, why? I would think that would help with the non-clotting.
It's like a blood thinner. And if he was internally bleeding, it would be not good.
Yeah.
Leaving that town, we were just so unbelievably grateful. I hugged my Vietnamese mom. I played Thank You on Google Translate, which didn't translate it well because she did not understand it.
Okay.
And we were just so blown away by how this whole town came together and helped these idiots.
That's insane that they came and drove you back and brought the bikes.
We paid them, but they didn't ask for anything.
Oh. 2 follow-up questions. One, for me, that would be an unresolved challenge waiting for me. Like, I didn't get to the tip of the northern part of Vietnam.
Yeah, I'm going back.
Okay, great. Second, has it occurred to you that this was the karma for not going to Liam's birthday party? If you had stuck around for the birthday party.
Leon. What's his name again?
It was Leon. Yeah, you got it.
Leon. I wanted Leon to come back in the story somehow.
Like he rolled up on his 4th birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, if you would have hung out for that party, that would have probably turned into the whole day.
None of this would have happened.
Different time.
You're not wrong. We definitely wouldn't have made it to Hanoi or our non-refundable flights, but we didn't end up getting that refund in the end anyway. So,
well, Ian, this was a fucking party.
Thank you guys. We love everything you guys do. Armchair Expert. I obviously love F1. It's like it was made for me.
Oh, thank you.
Take care, y'all.
Bye. Hello.
Hi. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking to you guys.
What shall we call you?
So I would like you to call me Emma because that's the name that my dad actually wanted to name me, but then didn't win in that argument against my mom.
Do you wish you were named Emma?
No, I like my name.
Okay,
good.
Good for you.
And where are you, Emma?
I am in New Jersey.
Ah, wonderful. The Garden State.
Yes.
And you were the recipient of some extreme hospitality?
Definitely something very, very generous that took my husband and I out of a crazy, desperate situation. Yes.
Oh, let's hear it.
Okay, I can't wait to hear.
Okay. So a little bit of context, basically how we got fucked to begin with. In 2018, my husband had a diving accident. So he hit his head on the bottom of the pool, caused a C6 spinal cord injury. So he is now paralyzed.
Oh, from the waist down?
Like the abdomen down, because he can't feel his stomach either and doesn't have his core muscles.
Okay. Oy.
Yes. So in addition to that, while he was in the hospital, some things went wrong. And then he also suffered a brain injury in the hospital.
Oh my God.
Wait. How does one suffer a brain injury? He fell out of a bed or something?
No, it was more so he started having seizures and the response time was not fast enough. It took about 5 hours for somebody to come.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Ugh.
Whoa. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
How long had you been married when this happened?
So actually at the time we were engaged. We got married about a year after his accident.
Okay. I don't know why I'm inclined to say this, but I'm very proud of you. Some lesser people would have bounced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have a lot of friends who couldn't even handle the situation.
I'm sure.
So yeah, he spent about 4 months in the hospital and then another 3 months in an acute rehab setting before his insurance decided that since he wasn't working anymore, they were going to cut him off.
Okay.
I was freaking out, obviously, because without insurance, how does one pay for such a high skilled level of care? And his doctor, we will call her Dr. B, she was amazing. She stepped in and was like, I'm going to take care of this. Don't worry. Because at the time we thought that he was going to still be in the rehab for like another 2 months at least. We hadn't even started discussions about what bringing him home was going to look like for me, for him, for anyone involved.
Right.
Yeah.
So she was like, don't worry, we're going to take care of this. The following day, as his medical power of attorney, she asked me to sign this consent form that said I agreed to keep him in the rehab despite insurance not paying. And the paper said it was going to cost me $6,000 a night.
Oh, for 2 months.
Yes. I'm a teacher, so how am I supposed to pay that?
That's $360,000 for 2 months. I just did the math.
I couldn't even do the math. I teach English.
Okay, you stay out of math. Stay out of math. Let me handle the math. You handle the English. I can barely read.
Sounds good. She was like, it's just a formality. Just sign the form. And I trusted her at that point. So I signed the form. It took about a month and a half to actually make all of the arrangements, but he did come home and I became his primary caregiver. And about a month after we were home, I got my first bill.
Yeah.
And I panicked because in addition to like all those extra fees that hospitals love to tack on, my bill was $500,000.
Wow. So $500,000. Did you have that lying around?
As a teacher?
Most definitely not.
Oh.
Hold on. Let's take half a
This
second.
is too
Let's take
much.
half a second. You now have a loved one that you'll be caring for. That's big change.
Yep.
You're now $500,000 in debt. I mean, my Lord.
Oh.
So luckily I had a follow-up appointment scheduled with this doctor who assured me that everything was going to be fine. So we go to this appointment. She comes in, she asks how we're doing, and I'm like, not great. We just got this crazy astronomical bill. And she said to me, didn't I tell you not to worry about it? I'm going to take care of it. She said, don't do anything. Trust me, I've got it.
Oh, boy.
She does her assessment of my husband, decides that everything's going well with him back at home. We leave, and I'm trying so hard to trust her, but I am a rule follower, and I have a bill in front of me here.
Yes.
So the following month in the mail comes another bill. This time, however, it says balance due is $0. It says account adjustment, and then the amount that I had owed, the $500,000. And then there was a little line under it with her name, Dr. B.
Oh, my. She paid
What?
it? Oh,
No.
my God.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, man. Dr. B.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
That's nuts.
Do you think she paid it or do you think she,
Negotiated.
right, like she said, handled it? She would still have to pay, I'm sure, a bunch of it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You need angels like that.
Absolutely. And I've loved her from the beginning because as soon as my husband came in, he wasn't supposed to be her patient from what I'm told, but she specifically said that she loves getting young men as patients because they are exceptionally tenacious and resilient and strong-willed. And he definitely proved to be because at this point, we're 5 years out from his accident. And he's talking again, which they never thought that he was going to talk again.
Wow.
He's able to stand, not on his own, but
Yeah.
able to stand, which they never thought was going to happen. And usually after about 2 years, I'm told they're supposed to plateau and then just kind of maintain that consistency. But like his speech has improved only in the last year.
Wow.
No kidding. And so how much of your day is still caring for him? What does he require?
Well, he has about 16 hours a day of nursing. That accounts for me sleeping at night and then going to work. Like I said, I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
So I didn't stop teaching.
Good.
I get home around 3 o'clock and that's when the nurse leaves. And then I take over his care from that point on.
Okay. All in all, what are we giving this experience? Things are good. They're stressful. It's an ongoing challenge.
Definitely got its ups and downs, but overall, I mean, I love him so much. And we've just gotten used to things at this point. We just try to find joy, at least in all the ways that we can.
Oh, what an inspiration.
Oh, my God. Emma, you got me a little welled up. This is becoming a pattern.
He cries all the
This-
time
I
now, though, so
know,
it's
I
not even
know.
special.
I
Sorry,
know.
Emma. I'm kidding.
I don't even know if I can carry on with this job.
Very, very inspirational.
It is.
Thank you. I just want to thank you guys for your podcast because it has helped us get through a lot of time in hospital waiting rooms and treatments and whatnot. So thank you.
Oh my
That
gosh.
makes
Thank
us-
you, Emma, so
Yeah.
much.
Oh, we're so grateful to have you guys listening.
I feel terrible about myself. Do you?
You always, no, I don't. He always says this, and then I never feel that way. I feel grateful.
If it makes you feel better, you are one of the few people that can make my husband laugh.
Oh, no, Emma. Why did you say that?
Oh, Jesus, this is all going sideways for Monica. Well, I'm committed to continue doing that.
What does he like? Does he like the robot or
Yeah, what's his
Frito?
I bet he likes Frito.
No, I think he likes the robot.
He does like the robot. He loves listening to your fact checks, just you guys going off.
That's our favorite part.
Yeah.
Well, Emma, so
this
nice
was
meeting
very
you. Please
special.
tell him
Thank
we
you.
say hi.
I will.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Hello. You're in a closet. We've done it.
Yay, the closet.
Hi again, Blair.
Are you recording?
I am recording on 3 devices.
Amazing.
So we'll tell the Armcherries. We're going to be honest about this. We've already spoken to you. We spoke to you in a very dicey Wi-Fi situation. You were in front of, as I remember, a Starbucks.
Yeah, and I would say word to the wise for future Armchair Anonymous. It's always Pacific time.
That's right.
That was part of the issue. I had like my setup plan for Eastern Standard Time. And then I was like, oh shit, this is 3 hours later. It was going to be in the middle of my commute. So I had to improvise and be like, what's the best option here? Obviously was not ideal, but it was the best I could do.
Well, we're very happy that you were willing to chat with us again. And it was such a good story that I'm happy to hear it all over again.
Same.
Really quick, now you're in a closet, and it is now, I guess, 4:30 your time? 4:20?
Yep.
4:20. Get your weed out.
It's not legal here.
Oh, yeah. You're in North Carolina, which we established.
But alas, the story does not take place in North Carolina.
Correct.
What year? Where were you? What happened?
All right. I'm in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I've finished my sophomore year. It's 2006. I'm 19. I'd worked for most of the summer, but I had a few weeks at the end of the summer with nothing planned. So 2 of my best friends from high school and I decided that we are going to take a trip to New York City. So we were kind of visiting some friends there, but really we're newly minted adults. We're ready to have ourselves a big time in the city. We've got fake IDs. We got a little bit of money. I had recently learned about Priceline from my mom. So I booked us a nice hotel, the Hilton near Times Square for $120 a night, which was a big steal. We were all excited about it. So we're all on the same flight out. On the back end, I'm planning to visit my sister in Austin, Texas. So I'm being very frugal-minded and cutting one flight out of the equation. I'm going to fly straight from New York down to Texas.
You're going to triangle it.
Exactly. 3 flights instead of 4. The way that the pricing worked out, it made more sense for me to stay an extra night. It saved me like hundreds of dollars. So I don't necessarily have a plan for where I'm going to stay that night. The Priceline deal does not go that far.
Check out at the Hilton Times Square is noon or 1.
Yeah, I actually think I had them keep my bag for a little while, with like the little ticket.
Sure.
So I went out for like a day on my own, meandering, exploring. But it was a fantastic trip to New York. Towards the end of it, they're asking me, well, what's your plan for this last night? I'm like, I don't really know. I'm sort of an optimistic, bordering on, irresponsible 19-year-old. So I was thinking about this, like, is it irresponsible? Was it confidence? I don't know, somewhere in between.
Sure.
It's a spectrum.
I'm expecting something to materialize out of nowhere, and it really doesn't. So we're getting later and later in the day, and I've got to, come up with a plan. What I did have a plan about was not spending $50 on a taxi ride by myself back to the airport in the morning. So I'm like, all right, I found out there was a shuttle from Penn Station to LaGuardia for $12.
Incredibly affordable. $12 to get to LaGuardia from Manhattan.
I kind of work backwards. That's the central plan. I'm like, all right, Penn Station, there's people hanging out there for long periods of time, waiting, sitting with bags. It's not going to necessarily look that weird if I'm hanging out there overnight, possibly grabbing a nap.
AKA sleeping at Penn Station is the game plan.
I get there somewhere in the 11 o'clock hour, and I've picked my spot. I've parked it for not very long, just a few minutes, when over the kind of sound system, it's like, Penn Station is closing. Everybody out. And there's definitely like workers milling about to like enforce this rule.
I would have been with you. I would have definitely assumed trains are coming in there all night
Me
long.
too.
I can't believe that it shuts down for some period.
I was shocked. Like, what?
Yeah.
So I get my bag. I go outside of Penn Station. I'm just kind of hanging out on the sidewalk, trying to not completely freak out and come up with my next plan. So plan B is this is the city that never sleeps. There are bars, I know, open till 4 a.m. because I've been to them. And I'll just wander around the streets for 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, God.
And then I'll circle back to Penn Station by 5 a.m. for this shuttle. Not going to get much sleep, obviously.
Also, when someone enters the bar with their luggage, it's a weird look. You're assuming that the person is living outside.
Yeah, but in New York, the mean streets of New York, they don't care.
I don't know. I've done a lot of bar drinking in New York, and if someone
too.
walks in with a roll-on bag, I'm like, uh-oh, what happened here? Not in the middle of the evening, like, oh, they stopped for a drink on the way to their hotel. But, 1 a.m., someone comes with a roller bag. You're like, what's going on here?
That was definitely in my thought process. Not to mention, I'm going to be expected to spend money in a bar. A lot of the underlying part of this was like trying to keep costs low.
Trying to get in and out of the city for $12.
Yeah.
So I'm literally thinking I'm just going to like mostly wander the streets and maybe duck in and out here and there. But around the same time that the plan is materializing in my brain, a taxi driver pulls up and is like, hey, do you need a ride somewhere? I'm like, nope, I'm good. He kind of takes a look at me and is like, all right, there's this girl standing outside of Penn Station with a bag, like a traveler, we think. She's not actively walking anywhere, she doesn't need a taxi. And he's kind of like, what are you doing? Like it's midnight. And I gave him the Cliff's Notes sugar-coated version. He's like, well, do you want me to take you to the airport? And I'm like, I know that's kind of a hefty price tag for taking a taxi all the way out to the airport. And he's like, do you want me to take you somewhere else or a hotel or something? And I'm like, look, dude, I don't have anywhere to go.
Right.
So, unless you want me to ride around in your cab with you all night, I don't think that there's anything that you can do for me. And he is like, well, you can do that. Just ride around with me. And I'm like, what? Seriously? Like, don't you have to pick up people and drop them off? And he's like, well, you can ride in the front seat. Like, you can sleep if you want to.
Oh,
yeah,
still spooks me.
It's spooky. We heard it yesterday, and I still hate it. I
still
hate it.
Be great if you took a nap. Get comfy.
Fall right asleep.
Yeah.
Feel comfortable to fall right asleep.
I can't properly convey why it didn't feel that creepy. He had a trusting vibe. He had I'm trying to help this four-stranded person, not necessarily like predator.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
but you guys, first of all,
Predators don't have predator vibes?
Yes, that's the whole point. If they're good at being predators, they really are good at suppressing the predator vibe.
The ones that are bad are in jail.
Or they don't ever get anyone.
Right.
You know?
Unsuccessful.
Unsuccessful predators have predator vibes.
Yeah, this is definitely optimism bordering on recklessness.
Again,
for
here
sure.
we go. Yeah.
But at that point, that felt like a life-saving, huge weight lifted off of me option. And I was like, all right, absolutely, let's do this.
I don't think I asked this yesterday, but I guess you put your bag in the trunk of the car.
Yep.
I then would be obsessed with if another passenger got in and had some luggage and then they got out, I think there'd be a bag mix up on top of everything else.
Fuck. Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Did any of the passengers he picked up have luggage with them? Did they need the trunk at all?
Not that I recall.
Okay. Yeah. Late at night. You're the only weirdo with a bag, I guess.
You can imagine what a 19-year-old frugal traveler has in their bag. If that bag was gone, I would not have been devastated.
Right.
Yeah, so I rode around with this guy for 4 or 5 hours. He picked up a few people, not a lot, maybe, 1 or 2 an hour. So we had lots of time to get to know each other and share life stories.
Did he ignore the passengers when they were in there and just keep chatting with you? Like, did you guys carry on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I would have been like, is this guy's on a date? Like,
Right.
What's going on up there? I would be very nosy and I'd have to figure out what's going on. Never ever gotten in a cab where there was a passenger already.
Yeah.
Not to mention when the cab pulled over, I'd think, why'd this guy pull over? He's already got a
Right. I'd be like,
fare.
are you getting out?
Was this a carpool cab? I don't want to go to her house first.
Wouldn't it have been great if he was picking up someone, take them to the airport? I thought about that after we recorded.
I was thinking about it while it was happening. In fact, I almost was predicting that was where the story was
That
going to
would have
go.
been great.
Yeah, that would have been so convenient.
Oh, that would have been very convenient. But then it wouldn't have allowed him to display the most extreme hospitality that he did.
That's right.
So we're nearing 5 a.m. and we're like, all right, like, gotta kind of get back to Penn Station. He says, I'll just take you to the airport. And I'm like, no, you don't need to do that. And he's like, I'm not going to charge you. We're friends now. I'm going to take you to the airport. And
It's really nice.
I was like, well, I'll pay you like $20 or whatever I felt like I could afford.
Yeah.
He's like, no. And so he drives me all the way out to LaGuardia. In the midst of that, there was like a soft marriage proposal.
Right. I was worried you weren't going to say it this time. And we really needed to hear that part.
Soft marriage proposal.
Yeah, I was kind of half joking, half like, let's throw it against the wall, see if it sticks.
Half dead serious.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
maybe we'll run with it if it doesn't.
This could have been the most romantic story of all time because if you had said yes and then he got out of the cab and joined you to fly to Austin, just left his whole life behind, that's a real movie. Just leaves the cab running with the door open. It's not his cab.
Oh, man.
And he just followed
a
love
meet
down
cute.
to Austin.
Another meet cute.
Yep.
Take it to the next pitch meeting. Make sure I'm a consultant.
And how did you handle the invitation to wed?
I kind of laughed it off and was like, I got to go back to college,
I'm a child still.
Oh, God. Oh, I feel sweaty.
As fun as these 5 hours were, I do intend to court my future husband for more than 5 hours.
Yeah.
We've just had one good date, is all
But
we've
he
had.
could have been from a region of arranged marriage, in which case, for him, he's like, I've gotten to know this person way more
Better.
than...
Yeah, he was an Egyptian immigrant. I mean, he was single. I didn't know that. And I think he was like in his 30s, but I was 19. So there was definitely an age gap.
You had some things to overcome if you pursued the marriage, for sure. You wouldn't have the same references.
That's okay. You can
I would have
learn.
access to the taxi medallion, though. I think that's a pretty hard thing to get.
Well, especially in 06. Not as much anymore, but in 06, sure, very valuable.
We hugged at the end. It was not creepy.
Okay.
We exchanged numbers. We did not ever talk again.
I like you so much, but I can't trust you to know whether it was creepy or not based on this whole story. You just don't know, but that's okay. You got out alive.
I can't say I'm terribly shocked you never called him, but I'm a little shocked you never got a call from him.
He understood. He heard the
But
no.
he had her number.
He heard the no.
Great, but they did exchange numbers. I could see him
Oh, just checking in.
lobbing a call out. Hey, did you make it safely to Austin?
Oh, sure.
You give that proposal any more thought?
No, he is a gentleman.
It does attest to my, creep meter, though, that he didn't.
You were vindicated on all this. It was a lovely 5 hours.
Yeah.
Nothing inappropriate happened, and he never even used your number.
Yeah. But Armcherries, please don't use this story as, see, I can do that too. And then you get killed and then we get sued.
Yeah. I've thought about this more, as you can imagine, in the last week. And like, how do I feel about this in retrospect? I mean, was it blind confidence? Was it complete irresponsibility, totally reckless? And I just had like an optimism and a confidence that everything's gonna work out. And it did. I don't regret it. I don't think I would do it again.
There we go.
I would have done it then, and I would do it now.
To be clear, I would do it again at 19. Now, if I was like in that situation again, I'm a little more financially stable. I also have 2 children.
More to lose.
I'd add on the extra night somewhere.
Yeah. Well, Blair, I so
Yes.
appreciate you retelling us that story. I loved it the first time with bad internet connection.
Thank you so much. Can I say hello to my friend one more time?
Yes.
Please, please, please.
Okay. One is my husband, who this is like his normal podcasting studio. So he's awesome and helped me make sure I was recording 3 times over.
Yes, yes. We thank him.
And the other is my friend Jason Dragon, who is also an Armcherry, and I didn't tell him that I was going to be doing this. So I'm hoping he's going to listen and just be surprised.
Stumble upon it.
Shout
And
out.
we happen to know that Jason Dragon is a farmer.
That's right.
And we also said we welcome anyone with that name into the Armcherry Army
Yeah.
in case we have to have a huge gang
Showdown.
fight with my favorite murder. With that fan base.
He is definitely a strong, confident man, but he's also very much a vulnerable boy.
Oh.
It's very cute that he has like the name Jason Dragon.
Oh, we like him.
Vulnerable boys can throw down against the whatever they're
That's
calling
right.
them favorite murder.
Okay,
group.
let's be respectful.
It's a fun one to say.
My favorite murder.
Yes, I think it's the perfect fake adversary to have because I imagine they're all kind and women.
Oh, no, they're great. Yeah, it's like very good podcast.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Blair, for doing this again.
Thank you guys so much.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Oh, wow. The whole ride, man. We took a whole ride on that one.
The human spirit is really something.
That's why I'm saying I feel terrible. It's like sometimes I worry, like, God, I hope I have that in me to be as good as Emma is.
I know, but you don't even have to do that. You
I
know?
know.
You don't have to make it like would I. You can just be grateful that there are people who are.
Yeah,
You know?
I just want to aspire to that, and then I hope I would be as good, you know?
Yeah,
so.
you don't have to think about it.
Okay. You prefer I stop thinking about it? All right.
Oh, man.
Love you.
What a day.
Well, what a day. I need to go to sleep and then go hang with Ian. I got to get on some motorcycles
You're in
with Ian.
love
I will
with Ian.
not low side my bike.
Knock on wood. Thank you.
All right. I prefer to go over the handlebars. Thank
Stop.
you very much.
Knock on wood again. Okay, love you.
All right. Love you.
Do you want to sing a tune or something? We don't have a theme song.
Oh. Okay, great.
We don't have a theme song for this new show, so here I go. We're gonna ask some random questions, and with the help of Armcherries, we'll get some suggestions. On the fly rhyme dish, Enjoy.